Welcome back, listeners. I'm Robin Black, and this is It's All About Healing podcast. Today we have a very special guest, Miss Elaina. E. Marie Speaks. She is also a spoken word artist as well. And today we're just going to be speaking about healing and what life is like after trauma. So, Miss Elaina, how are you?
I am well. I am well. How are you?
I am doing well. It is so nice to meet you. So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, so Elaina slash E Marie Speaks is. I often say I am.
Uh-huh.
I am a spoken word artist. I am an author. I am a transformalist. No, it's not a word. You can't look it up. Don't chat GPT because that is me. It's what God has labeled me as. It's His daughter. I am a king's kid. That's the most important part. I
Mhm.
am renewed. I'm saved. I am restored. I
Yeah.
am E. Marie Speaks.
I love that. So, you said life after trauma. So what has happened and how have you healed from it?
That makes me say, okay, God, which one am I going to talk about? Like, what trauma are we talking about? So I am, unfortunately, there's so many of us. I am a child molestation survivor 3 times over.
Hmm.
Um, my mom's boyfriend, my mom's fiance, and some little boy in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I don't really know when. What I have learned, I guess, me and God have kind of labeled it. I lose time when trauma happens, and not just from childhood, just any kind of trauma. So, it's somewhere between, I guess, somewhere around 7, 8 ish, kind of
Yeah.
when it started.
Mhm.
Um, the details are fuzzy between the second molestation and the third one.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure which one happened first. And now that I'm an adult, I think the one with the boy in the neighborhood actually probably happened before my brother's boyfriend. And he got up. Yeah, I'm saved, so I won't say what he said, but he
Right.
got up. He was like, "DAMN, I'm gonna be on pins and needles until you get your period."
Yeah.
Um, so I think I was like 13 or so,
Hmm.
12, 12, 13 or so when that happened. Um, but here's the thing, that trauma, I ain't gonna say that was the easy trauma to get beyond, but because it happened early and because I have been kingdom for a while, like I was good. I can talk about it. I don't feel nothing. I don't want to cry. I don't nothing pull in my stomach. But from a spoken word perspective, I remember when God came to me and he said, "You got to write about it." I said, "Write about it for what?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"I'm good. I'm cool." And he
Hmm.
said, "Because you write." I'm like, and that's before I even realized the level and depth of the gift that I had. He said,
Hmm.
"Because you're a writer, you have to write. You have to write it. That's the last part of you writing it." And I remember when I wrote it, God showed me a place in me that still needed healing. Like
Yeah.
I was good, but when um there's a part in, I call it it's perverted passion was called, is and it says healing now has to be my understanding his need not to be a bastard, a
Hmm.
fatherless child. I now must pray that he's no longer the grown-up lover to the girl child that died within. He is my brother. The
Yeah.
blood of Jesus covers even him totally.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, I'm sorry.
Hmm.
Like, what do you mean? Like, do you know what he did to me?
Yeah.
God said, yeah, that right there. That's what I'm after.
Hmm.
That's what I'm after. Healing now has to be, Elaina, your understanding his need not to be a bastard, a
Yeah.
fatherless child. I'm
Hmm.
like, yeah, he need to die, bastard. And I don't
Hmm.
mean that in a cuss word sense. I mean in the sense, a fatherless child. Like, you kidding me?
Hmm.
Like, you want me to I should be able to see him and offer him salvation? Nope.
Right.
That's not gonna happen. And God said, that's what I need to heal. All the
Hmm.
other stuff, how it happened, when it happened, what he did, like you're beyond all that,
Yeah.
but that part right there, you have to understand, yeah, he has a right to the tree
Mhm.
of life. And that was hard.
Yeah.
That was
Absolutely. And so what did you do? Like what has your journey been like trying to understand that?
I it was just I had to spend time in God's presence. I
Hmm.
really had to commit
Yeah.
myself to doing the work. And I think we've heard it before, but when you have to walk it out, it's different. I think for me, having to embrace the fact that forgiveness meant to me that now it was okay. And God had to show me and allow me to understand that forgiveness has nothing to do with approval.
Yeah.
Like, you're not in forgiving, you're not saying what he did. Okay, Elaina, what was done to you was not okay. But I'm like, what do you mean? Like, if I see him, are you saved? Do you know Jesus? Like,
Yeah.
what does that look like? Like, I don't understand what you mean. What are we talking about here?
That's not. It's just the way you said it.
Like, but that's what I'm saying to God.
Yeah.
I'm saying, I'm really having this conversation with God, and He's like, "No, Elaine." I said, "So what is it then? What you
Yeah.
know about Jesus? He all right? Like, God, what we doing?"
Yeah.
And He was like, "That's the part of you that I need to heal,
Yeah.
because it's gonna hang you up and it's gonna hinder your forward move." And I had to understand and release the thought process that my forgiveness was tied to it being okay. And
Yeah.
that was huge for me. Like, understanding that they felt like they were in the same space, but they really weren't. And they
Hmm.
say, "Oh, forgiveness ain't for them, it's for you." It sounds good when somebody telling you, but when you walking it out,
Right.
it's something different.
Yeah.
I ain't forgiving him. He
Yeah.
stole my childhood. Like, I couldn't have been a virgin. Like, he took my virginity.
Yeah.
Gone.
Hmm.
With his vile, nasty self. Guys, like, yeah, right there. Right there. That's what I want. That's what I'm after.
Yeah.
And
And-
it was a process of me first being honest.
Yeah.
I had to be honest with God that I was angry. I'm angry that you even asked me to do that. I'm mad
Mhm.
and I don't want to talk no more today.
Yeah.
So I'll get with you tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
That's what it was. Like, because you're gonna have to come with something different. Maybe you need a nap.
Yeah.
They say you don't sleep nor slumber, but I think you need a nap.
That's it. And I like how you said you felt that it was tied to it being okay, because I think that's where a lot of us have that issue of trying to forgive others, because they say, well, you just forgive first and understand why later. And I think that is what is very hard, because I never realized it but until you just said that. But forgiveness is sometimes attached to, okay, well, if I forgive you, that means what you did to me or what you do to others is okay. And it's not. That's a very hard. Ooh, that's a real hard one to kind of understand and kind of break down and heal through that. So I'm very glad that you did.
And I
You were able
think
to do that.
writing the piece helped me.
Hmm.
God allowed me to see that most poets are purge poets. Now, you got your ones that write about, black on black crime, or they write about all the whatever. But when you're talking about something you've been through,
Yeah.
you're writing about it because you're purging it from you. So for me, I had to admit, as a Christian, and like I said, like, if I do this in a Christian environment, if I say bastard, everybody gonna run. They gonna run out the door. Like, how do I say that?
Hmm.
And there's another part that I'm not gonna say take it out. I don't really do it that much anymore. Um, but depending on what circle I'm in, because only a person who loves spoken word or is a spoken word artist will understand some of the imagery, and they and know that I'm not necessarily in that place, and I'm not still broken. But in order to purge this,
Hmm.
this is my truth, saved or not saved. And so one of the and said for that, do you have a super sensitive audience?
No.
Okay, so one of the lines in the piece is, "For that sick bastard's end result,
Hmm.
a
Yeah.
discharge." Yes,
Yeah.
I said it is not a cuss word for me. He's got to be a child without a father, a
Hmm.
heavenly father, that is. He could not have possibly been his.
Right.
So the Christian crowd would say, "What did she just say? Sick?" He
Yeah.
was sick,
Yeah.
and he was. There's no way that he could have been. God could have been his father, but understanding the imagery.
Hmm.
And the discharge was so much more than the actual act, but only somebody who knows spoken word understands. I'm talking about so much more than just the physical act, because somebody who does that is getting more than just, but you have to be, you have to love the art to understand
Absolutely.
some of the rawness that it brings.
Absolutely. I am a spoken word artist myself, and I definitely understand what you mean,
Yeah.
especially when you said it's about purging. You purge your feelings out, because there will be people out there that say, oh, okay, well, that's not poetry. That's not a poem. That's not really that. But there's many forms. At the end of the day, it's about being your true, authentic self. And that's,
Absolutely.
like you said, you have to have that appreciation for the art in order to understand it. So I do get that. And what else do you do, Miss Elaina?
So by trade, I am a real estate broker.
Hmm.
So I do that pretty good at it. I
Okay.
drive, but I really feel God shifting me. I coach. I've coached agents, but now what I see that God is doing in my life is He's doing a new thing and He's doing an unwritten thing, and so that's hard to navigate when you don't have anybody to show you the way.
Yeah.
So when God gave me Transformers, he was very clear that this is not a conference. Yes, you can do a conference. Yes, you can preach. Yes, you can teach, but that's not that ain't this.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, so what are we doing? He said, we're moving beyond the conference because people leave with notes, but no strategy. People leave with notes, but no change.
Hmm.
What you can't label it transformers without it being transformation.
Yeah.
And so then became the journey of what that meant. So I'm that, and then of course I'm an author. I
Hmm.
have 3 books. My first book was Daily Dose. I wrote that literally on the floor. I lost. So I worked at Ford Motor Company for 13 years, and when I came here, I thought I was going to be here, and they closed. I was here 2 years, and they closed the plant. I'm like, okay, so where we going, God? He said, I didn't tell you. I told you to come to Atlanta. I didn't tell you to
Yeah.
leave. I'm like, so what you think I'm gonna do? Like, I can't do hair, I can't do nails, I don't have any skills. Like, this is
Yeah.
my conversation. I don't have any gifts. Like, all I can do is factory work because I
Yeah.
had limited myself to what I know, what I knew. I mean, I got hired on a Ford at 22 years old.
Hmm.
So it's all I knew. I barely graduated high school. I wasn't educated. I didn't have anything to offer the world.
Yeah.
So like what do you want from me? Like I am a single mom, like I make good
Mhm.
money, I have great benefits, I have retirement. So I'm not really that's about another one of those. I'm not sure what you're talking about
Right. Yeah.
because I'm retiring for 4. That was my plan.
Yeah.
I don't know what you got going up on there up in heaven, but I plan to retire early. So what we doing? And then God told me to go in real estate. I'm like, I don't feel like this now, but I'm like, I'm a dummy. I can't. What do you mean? What do you
Mhm.
mean? Go to school? School?
Yeah.
Oh
Right.
no,
Yeah.
no, no. That's not God. That's the devil. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
They didn't get thee behind me because you did not. The God did
Yeah.
not say go to school.
Yeah.
But yes, God said go to school. And Ford had a lot of things they offered their employees to help them transition from the plant. So the school was offered at no cost. And see, here's the thing.
Nice.
Um, Yeah, I don't think I have to worry about that. So I haven't told this story because I have to be careful with it, but I won't say her name, but our instructor, we had some very vocal Christians,
Okay.
and all them very vocal Christians failed the test. Every
Oh.
last one of them. We was in there talking about God is the greatest. We were always
Yeah.
just talking about Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody else didn't talk about God past, but us are people.
Yeah.
And so she waited for everybody to leave. And I was like, why? What are we here for? Why are we waiting for them to leave? She's like, just trust me. And she said, so all y'all, when they left, like 40 minutes after we got finished, it felt like 4 hours. She
Yeah.
said, all y'all failed. Every last one of y'all failed. And she said, here's the test. I can't help y'all with state. Like y'all on your own. Because it's not like that. But just don't give yourself 100.
Yeah. What?
The day I went in for my test, oh my God, I know those people. Thank God it wasn't COVID. Them people would have put me out. I had been sick all night long. I was like
Oh
that.
man.
I was sick in there, but it was too late for me to cancel when I had paid.
Yeah.
I don't remember one of them questions.
Yeah.
I don't know how I passed because I think I just laid on the desk and one of the angels was just answer the
Yeah.
question because I was. She like you gotta whatever the one point away is where you would have failed.
Hmm.
It was only by the grace of God. It was the confirmation that I needed that was what I was supposed to do, even though it didn't make sense to me.
Right.
And I didn't have the presence of mind. I didn't have any business sense or any business acumen at that point in my life. And so the next phase was a real journey
Yeah.
because I'm not going to say I lost everything. God told me to stop saying that because when I made the decision not to move forward, I made the decision that whatever came. See, that's what we got to understand about faith. When we make a step of faith, we don't know what's tied to it because if God showed us the roadmap,
Mm-hmm.
we would not say yes. Oh, like right here, you're gonna lose your house, and yeah, here you're gonna be
Right.
walking because your car was repossessed. Like if he
Yeah.
showed you the road, what everything that was attached, the domino effect of your faith, you'd be like, oh no, I ain't signing up for that.
Right.
It's good over here.
Yeah.
So I I went on to sacrifice everything that I had acquired under Ford when I decided to go in real estate. House gone, cars gone, retirement gone, savings gone,
Yeah.
everything gone. Gone.
Yeah.
And I remember when my house was foreclosed on at a time that I could pay the mortgage. That's what was particularly profound was that I was working on a loan modification. Oh, don't worry about it, Miss Royston. You know, you're gonna be fine, you're gonna get approved. And then they
Mhm.
told me that I had 2 weeks to be out.
Wow.
And it was hard for me because like a year ago, I couldn't pay my mortgage. I could have paid it. I was just trying to get the modification. You cannot have a current mortgage. You can't be current on your mortgage. And
Mm-hmm.
I look back now and I realized it was just time. It was the time and it was the season,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for God for me to learn God at a different level. And he had been showing me, you know, I have always operated in faith, but you know, it's level to level, glory to glory. And seeing God in that space of forward to real estate was me really learning what faith was and how God shows up and how he truly is a provider and he truly is your first husband and he will, you know, miracle money. Listen,
Yes.
listen.
Yes. I know that. Yes.
Don't you listen, God don't play about me. I
Yeah.
listen. When I
Yes.
know when I tell you God, I have learned God in a way you can't tell me that God is not a provider. Like there's nothing you could ever say to me to
Amen.
get me to
Yeah.
believe that. I could be losing my house and you couldn't tell me that God's not a provider.
Yeah.
I could be losing my car and you can't tell me that God's not a provider. I could have no food in my cabinet and you
Mm-hmm.
could not get me to believe that he's not a provider
Right.
because I just have learned
Yep.
that he is.
Yes.
And it's not predicated upon what I'm going through in this exact moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I never get my good. She wasn't as good a friend as she is now, but she was one of my worst clients in the whole wide world.
Yeah.
And she came to my house to visit, and she said, "So what are we having for breakfast?" And I said, "Well, I don't know." And she opened up my pantry, and she's like, "Oh, you got us crackers?" I said, "Yeah, you'd be surprised. Eat some crackers and drink some water. They swell up in your stomach." And she was like, "That is not funny." I'm like, "But it's true. You know, trust me, I've learned. If you eat some crackers and drink some water, it's gonna you gonna be all right. You don't need no meat. You don't need no meat.
Yeah. You gonna be all right.
You gonna be all right." Listen, folks, children in Africa is dying. I missing a meal. I got crackers. They be glad to have the crackers. And she was like, "That is not funny." I'm like, "Well, what do you want me to say?" She said, "You should have told me you didn't have any food." I said, "It's not your responsibility to take care of me. You didn't tell me to leave my job. God did."
Yeah. Yeah.
So she said, "We're going to get some food." I said, "No, we're not." And she said, "I now know, looking back, that that's like the person on the island, the guy's in the boat, and you say, 'No, God's gonna come save me.' He's in the helicopter. Say, 'No, God gonna come save me.' And you
Yeah.
get to heaven and say, 'God is not just gonna say, well, what do you think the boat and the helicopter, you know what I'm saying, and the raft was?" That was me saying. So that I understand now that that's what that was. I was like, "No, God's gonna provide." She said, "Listen, I like to eat, and I cannot stay here with no food in this house. There ain't no crackers swelling up in my belly."
Yeah.
We went to the grocery store, but God showing me his provision. A single mom, when I was a member of a church, it was about 35 minutes from my house. And I said, "Okay, God, I'm on pulpit ministry this Sunday, and I don't have enough gas to go to Bible study and church. So what we doing? He said, sufficient enough for the days on trouble. I said, no, God, for real. Because even if I get because this is how I talk to God. So like, even if I get a contract today, it's not gonna close by Friday. So where am I gonna get the money from?
Yeah.
Sufficient enough for. I said, I'm so sick of it. That's like a parable. Sufficient
Yeah.
enough for today is its own trouble. He said, why? He said that's before daughter. He's like, Elaina, why are you worried about Sunday? It's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Cause sir, I ain't got no money. It's Wednesday. It's after business hours. It's Thursday. just to get, do you understand it's Thursday? You do understand it's Thursday? Okay. All right. So
Mhm.
what we doing? Silence. Because
Yeah.
he's like, I'm not gonna keep talking to you. I done already told you sufficient. What are you still talking to me about that for?
I'm not gonna keep talking.
I'm not gonna keep. That's what like your parents say. I'm not gonna keep. Don't keep asking me that.
Yeah.
Don't come back and ask me that no more.
That is so true.
Yes, and he was just like silence. I'm like, hey, did you hear me?
Yes.
Like, girl, I'm not fooling with you. So
Yeah.
I went to Bible study, and the single mom walked up to me and she said, God told me to give you this, and she had it balled up. She put it in my hand. Of course, if it's balled up, she doesn't want anybody to see it.
Yeah.
So I get out after Bible study. I open it up. It was $40. It would have been amazing if it was $400, but it was $40.
Yeah.
It was $40. I didn't even have enough gas to get home. Now, like true story, I didn't have enough gas to get home, and I went to the gas station. That was this is back when stuff was cheap.
Yeah.
So I had a little Nissan Sentra, so I was able to fill up my little gas tank with like $24, and had me a little money left over.
Yeah.
And I was coming down the steps at the house I had back then. I said, okay. I said, God, why have you never shown me the side of you?
Mhm.
And I felt like God kind of chuckled. He said,
Yeah.
you've never needed me to.
Wow. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And learning him like that was hard, but it was a beautiful experience. It's beautiful to live out what the word tells us.
Yes.
So when people are talking to me about what they have need of, I'm like, have you surrendered or have you given? First of all, are you faithful in your giving?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you mean? I can't afford tithes. No, baby, you can't afford not to tithe.
Right.
Yeah. Like, well, I don't know what they're doing with the money. Well, then you're not at the right church. You need to go to a church where you trust leadership.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Trust leadership.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah.
Wow. It is amazing talking to you. What else? You said that you also did children's books or coloring book. What was it?
So, I don't know why I did this coloring book,
Mm-hmm.
but I look at all these things on social media and society's definition of what beautiful is. It's always been that. And I say this as proper as I can. Society's definition of beautiful is olive skin.
Mm-hmm.
Society's definition of beautiful is blonde hair.
Mm-hmm.
Society's definition of beautiful is tiny waistlines.
Mm-hmm.
But most of which, even if you take away the blonde hair and if you take away the olive skin, most of which don't represent our culture.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes even people who are of slender stature still are a little curvy.
Yeah.
So I really wanted something that spoke to who we are so that our little brown girls know that they're beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sweet.
So it's an affirmation coloring book and they pop off the page and I created it. And when I was creating it, I knew it was God.
Yeah.
And then I did a boys and the boys book. Oh, if I thought the girls book was hard,
Yeah.
finding images, nice images of Black boys was so, because you can put in coloring book images of Black boys and they're going to still give you olive children.
Yeah. Wow.
So finding it, and then I put this coloring book together. I'm starting it, and I'm so proud of it. And I send it to 2 people who have boys, and they're like, "Yeah, they put it down after 5 minutes." I'm like, "What? What's going on? What are we doing?" And boys and girls are different.
Yeah.
So boys needed more activities.
Yeah.
So I had to take out some of them coloring pages and fill it with more activities and things that would speak more to boys. So I finished the girls coloring book, then I finished the journal,
Uh-huh.
and then I finished the so the girls coloring book is uniquely me, and then the boys coloring book is Blazing Boys Activity, because there's more activities than color than pages, but Blazing Boys Activity and Coloring Book. And then the guided journal, my personal journal journey, and it's a beautiful um brown, beautifully brown woman with full lips and big hair.
Uh-huh. Oh, nice. And where can we get this journal and the coloring books?
Amazon. So the Subtle Seeds is on Amazon. The Uniquely Me Girls Coloring Book is on Amazon, and so is the. But you know what? I do. Listen, you should have asked me about that. You hear me? These are right here. I can show them to you. I can show them to you live and in living color. I didn't think to have them. I'm back. So this is what the Blazing Boys coloring books looks like.
Oh, okay. Nice. Okay.
And the Uniquely Me. Isn't she lovely?
That is adorable.
Pie, ain't she?
I love that.
So those are my in the journal. This is
Oh, yeah, I like that. Okay.
yeah, and it's fully colored.
Okay.
That's what's different. So it's got color pages in there and it's prompted. So yeah.
Yeah, so I'll definitely be adding that down in the show notes as well.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you
I can send you the link.
much. So is there anything, any type of advice, suggestions, or anything that you want to give the listeners?
Along what kind of give me some guidance along what lines?
Anything, like you said, trauma, being a spoken word artist, like being a real estate broker, anything.
Well, I think what I would tell people is understanding that God is a deliverer.
Yeah.
He does. But deliverance in the absence of discipline is a ticket back to being bound.
Mm-hmm.
That we have to make sure that in our on our healing journey, as we seek God for clarity, for more, for healing, that we understand that we have a responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
that it doesn't just come and we expect God to do all the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
That there is a responsibility attached to whatever God does in our lives. We have to maintain it. So what does that look like? That looks like for somebody who needs something to do, it may be coloring. For somebody else, it's journaling. For somebody else, is making sure you take a walk and making sure you get outside. For somebody else, is putting the structure in place. What are you going to do now? Now that healing is now manifesting in your life, how are you going to keep those thoughts, those deeds, those things? Because oftentimes there's so much attached to the things we've been healed from. Right. And we have trauma responses attached to that. So now that we're delivered, how do we stay delivered? Now that we're on our healing journey, how do we not take 2 steps back when we're already taking 5 steps forward? It's because we now have to apply disciplines to our lives. And people don't realize the need to do that. Discipline may be you getting up and making sure you're doing affirmations every day, because what happened in your life, you now have low self-esteem. So you now have to speak to yourself and say, I am worthy. I am lovable. I am. So now you are going to come against the very thing that the enemy wants you to continue to believe about yourself. So what discipline do you need to now walk through in life to make sure that the work that God is doing and the deliverance that God has manifested stays that way, and that you grow from it, that you go to a different level and you don't get pulled back to the very thing that God has pulled you out of. We're not pulled back because God doesn't want us to be free. We'll pull back because we don't know what we're supposed to do differently. We got to fill that space with something.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I love that. Fill that space with something there. And then it is, because not only does God conceal some of the things for us to find, with that he wants us to seek and find, but like you said earlier, is identifying ourselves with whatever problem is. Oh, I know me. I had, a lot of people use that verbiage of saying my problem is X, Y, and Z. But like you said, those daily affirmations, that'll kind of help alleviate that and get us to kind of change how we speak to ourselves and how we speak about ourselves. So thank you so much for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Miss Elaina. This has been a wonderful, wonderful podcast, and I do appreciate that you came on today.
Thank you for having me.
No problem at all. No problem. And again, I'm Robin Black. This is It's All About Healing Podcast. Everyone stay blessed.